Hello there, Cheri here from The Watering Mouth. Got a fun video for you today, one of these mindset ones. You guys have been asking for these, so wanted to give you this provocative little bit of a title, isn't it? I quit. This is so hard. Yeah, I know. That's a very common thought, isn't it? It's a very common thing that happens, and people give up on healthy eating because they think, oh, it's just, cards are just too stacked against me. There's no way I can do this. So I'm going to talk today about that and also what to do to get over that, okay? So I quit. This is so hard. Now, first of all, when we think something is hard, it's going to feel hard, right? So what we're actually wanting to do is figure out a way to think that it's not hard. And I'm going to show you that it's not, because I have a very, very, very simple solution for you, okay? So when we say, oh, I quit, this is so hard, it's interesting because actually no one says this. No one actually just goes, I quit. No one ever says that unless they're, doing, I don't know, a job or something, right? But what people actually end up doing is just moving on. They just, shiny object syndrome, they see something else that they think's gonna work. So they just start doing that thing, right? They just shift their focus and start doing something else. It's really rare that someone will actually be like, I quit this for good. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is this shiny object syndrome. If we have found something else, like we're looking for something else to fix this, whether that be weight loss issues, weight maintenance issues, or just health issues, if we start looking for something else, oh, it must be in a different diet, it must be in something else, we're putting ourselves backward, because when we shift our focus, then we just end up having to relearn a whole new thing, and we end up feeling good about it because it's the act of learning the new stuff that keeps it fresh for us. It's kind of like being in a marriage, continuing to choose that marriage, and just on a long-term relationship, continuing to choose those relationships long-term. We can do this with girlfriends too. You go through a rough spot with your girlfriend. Do you give up or do you figure it out, right? You go through this with your marriage. Do you give up or do you figure it out? So what I always like to say is, if we're choosing our diet lifestyle based on the health and longevity potential, not based on the weight loss potential, we're gonna win every time. And then all we have to do is figure out how to do it this long term, right? But the fun part about Eat to Live is that you also get the weight loss with it too, all right? So let me just look at my notes here. So true change comes from sticking with something through thick and thin. That's where the actual rewiring of the brain happens, is when you stick with it and you just keep trying, right? You just keep going, like we say as my little motto there. You just keep going no matter how that looks. So let's talk about how that could look. All right, so I found a really funny graph. Check this out. And you've seen me do graphs like this before, so this is sort of a weight loss graph. This comes from a website called formilab.ch, and it's actually from a book called The Hacker's Diet, which is really funny, by John Walker, How to Lose Weight and Hair Through Stress and Poor Nutrition, which is hilarious. And here is the website that I found this on. So this is a fun book. Book is intended primarily for busy, successful engineers, programmers, and managers who unsuccessfully in the past tried to lose weight and avoid regaining it. And this graph actually comes from that book. It's really, really funny. So it's this idea of weight loss, right? And you're trying to lose weight, and you've got all this stuff like doomsday morning, the teeth of terror, right? The plateau of patience, breakthrough. Like, who needs this, right? But this is a very similar graph to what it actually looks like when we're trying to lose weight, right? I mean, you've seen this up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Sometimes it's even you go back up for a while, come back down. But what I want to draw our attention to is these up points here, right? The ones where your weight goes back up after, see, he says payoff, and then he goes sigh, right? So this sigh part, it's what do we actually do in these parts that matters to us? What is the thought process? What do we actually do? Well, if you're like most of us, that's the part where you give up, right? Where you go and you just have all the junk food, and then you just say, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to find another diet style, right? That's what actually usually happens. But those up points where the weight goes back up, those are the most important points. It's like we can talk about that marriage thing, right? Like you're in a marriage with somebody, you have a rough point. Do you just get divorced? Now, there are reasons to get divorced, right? But there are also reasons to stay. There are also reasons to stick with it. And which ones feel more important to you? Now, for me, my perspective, the promise of health and longevity is like, it's top. There's like no other reason to eat a specific way. Like no other reason for me. It should be about health and longevity. And if the weight loss comes with it, great. And it does with Eat to Live, right? So you actually get all of those things by sticking with it even when it's tough. But it's just that feeling of it's so tough that we don't have tolerance for. So how do we kind of get over that? Well, we always talk about our thoughts create our feelings, right? So if our thoughts are, this doesn't work, I'll never get this, this isn't, you know, I don't deserve this, it's not going to happen, this is too hard. If those are the thoughts that we have and then choose to keep, then we're going to go do shiny object syndrome and do something else, right? If those thoughts can come to us automatically, that's normal and fine for all of us to have those thoughts automatically, like I don't deserve this, or this is never going to work, or whatever. It's normal to have those thoughts. But then we get the opportunity to actually deliberately choose our thoughts in that moment. So we have those thoughts automatically, but then what thoughts do we choose after that? That's the whole thing here. All that matters is the thoughts that you choose when you're in that place of doomsday morning, teeth of terror, right? It's the thoughts that you choose in that moment. So I want to tell you some thoughts that you can choose, and this will help. Okay. So I have one that I wanted to give to you, which is, I'm willing to try to figure this out. Okay. I'm willing to try to figure this out. So all those negative thoughts come in. And like, I don't know how to do this, I'll never get this, whatever, but I'm willing to try to figure this out, right? I'm willing to keep trying. That one by itself, if you just append that, right? Like just add that onto your original thought, which is like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get this, I'm terrible at this, this is the worst, and I'm willing to keep trying. See how that just shifts it a little bit towards like a little bit of hope, or a little bit of what I think is the best emotion, or emotion is sort of curiosity. Instead of making a decision, like a decisive, I'll never get this, this isn't gonna work, right? It's flipping into curiosity. It's like, I always feel like this is never gonna work. I always feel like I don't deserve this, but there must be a way, right? I'm willing to try to find another way. I'm willing to let the answer come to me. I just haven't found the answer yet, right? So in those times of confusion, those times of like upset, and what do I do and how do I do this? It is like, what do I do? I wonder what the answer is. It hasn't come to me yet, but I believe it will, right? The way that I'm going to continue to do this for life, it hasn't come to me yet, but I believe it will. Okay, it's this curiosity, and when we come into a place of curiosity instead of defeat, right? The difference between curiosity and defeat. When we're in defeat, we're going to go find that other diet. We're going to go look for that other way of doing it, or we're going to go off track for a while, gain back all the weight, all that kind of stuff. But if instead we go to a place of curiosity, like, I don't know what it is yet, but I'm willing to be patient and try new things and work this out, right? That just creates a whole different sort of like persona, like being about you. And then you're willing to try new stuff, which then you shift into creativity. And creativity is really, really, really the thing that works, right? So for instance, if I ever feel like I'm coming up against something like, I keep doing this thing, I keep doing it, what's wrong with me, right? Then I actually go, what is happening here? Why am I doing this thing, right? And I might actually get coached on this. Like for me, I've had a private coach myself for the last 8 months now, and I'm still gonna be with her until I figure this stuff out. But every time I come across these patterns with myself, I work it out with someone. Like I write it down, I work it out, and then I go on a coaching call with her. She helps me untangle it, and I figure it out. Like for instance, recently one of them was, I just realized that when I get into work mode and I have a big project that I need to finish, I always let my healthy eating and my exercise go out the window. I'm like, I'll just do it. I'll start again when I am done with this project, right? But the interesting thing is this year I'm making some big moves with my business and the things that I'm trying to do. And I don't have the ability to just wait for the project to end because there's more projects that keep coming up. And so I was like, I noticed this, right? I was like, oh, I noticed that I keep throwing away my exercise and my food every time I have a big project. And I was like, but I'm going to have tons of projects, so it's not sustainable for me to keep giving up my food and my exercise. So how could I do both? How could I do both? See how I flipped into curiosity there? I wonder how I could do both. And then I get really creative, right? And one of the solutions I came up with last year for this similar type of a thought pattern was to get up at 4:30. And now that's what I do. And what I realized, because it was really painful in the beginning, I was like, oh, 4:30 is terrible. Then I was like, I need to go to bed at 8:30. That way I can get 8 full hours of sleep. And then I was like, oh, but my daughter goes to bed at 8:30. That means I don't have any time to myself. And I was like, I totally do have time to myself. How have I been spending my time at 8:30 to 10:30, which is on social media? And I'm like, do I actually like that? No, I don't actually like being on social media. So I'm actually okay with going to bed at 8:30. And then I started going to bed at 8:30, getting up at 4:30, getting all the stuff done that I wanted to get done, exercise, getting my food prepped. You know, I had all the time in the world to do that because I was curious about it. I was creative about it, and I found something that actually worked for me. But I want you to know, like, this all sounds wonderful, but do you know that this was a very painful trajectory, right? Because the whole time I was thinking, why can't I get this? What's wrong with me? I never have enough time, blah, 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 blah. This isn't gonna work. I keep gaining and losing weight. You know, I keep exercising and then stopping exercise, right? It felt painful. It felt like this every time. It felt like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me, right? That's what that actually felt like. And it was that creativity and curiosity during it that led me there, okay? So I'm gonna give you 2 solutions for this. So I kind of already gave you the solution, but 2 other practical solutions that you can use. Number 1 is the DIY solution, which is to go, like, what you need to do is change your thoughts, right? So the number 1 thing that you can do when you're in these, you know, slumps or whatever, so to speak, is to go watch a video or read a book, right? Shift your thoughts. That will automatically shift your thoughts for you. If you read a video, watch a video or read a book or something like that, that will automatically shift your thoughts for you. Okay, that's the sort of the sort of like budget way of doing that, where you just go do that. I have to say though, it's not very effective long term. It just works for a little while, and you just have to keep doing it. And then at some point it becomes less effective because it's all that you do, right? It's like the only thing you do. You can only read a book so many times, kind of a thing. It gets like, you just start to get like, where you just don't hear or see the solution so much anymore, right? And your brain gets a little bit overloaded, that kind of thing. But the other solution is to join the Eat to Live family. It's my monthly group coaching membership. See what I did there? Very tricky, right? Why would you join something like the Eat to Live family? Well, what is the Eat to Live family? It's a monthly group coaching membership. You join, you pay something, you invest a little bit monthly or yearly, join, come in with us. You can get coaching. You'll see hundreds of other people in there just like you doing the same thing. Eating to live, or trying to eat to live, or just trying to eat healthier. Like, you don't have to be a Nutritarian to be in there. And show up to the meetings, show up to the coaching calls. I personally coach you in there. I'm actually in there every day responding to questions, coaching people. We do 2 group coaching calls a month. You can get on that call, get coached yourself personally with these specific issues. It's plenty. You get access to the Eat to Live Academy, which is the actual foundational digital course that's going to teach you all this mindset stuff. And you can do that at your own pace. That's available to you in the family. It's included my weight loss vlog that explains exactly how I personally lost weight, which talks all about these things I was telling you about a minute ago, the things that I've learned that have changed my journey. You get so much more. I mean, it's a private, imagine Facebook, but it's not Facebook. It's very private and safe. There's no ads, no distractions, nothing. Just a bunch of people in there working towards these same exact goals. And so there's a lot more in there, lots of recipes. You get 21-day challenges every quarter. In fact, at the time of filming of this video, everyone just started another 21-day challenge together in there. And those come as, you know, just part of your membership. You get that included every quarter. And so the Eat to Live family is really a very affordable place to go for all the support that you need and to help you shift those thoughts, okay? So consider it, because at the time of filming and publishing this video, the Eat to Live family is open for registration. We only open up every quarter, so it's going to be months before you can get back in if you don't get in on this chance. This is your chance, my friend. This is your chance. This is your wake-up call. This is the thing that's going to get you there. It's going to bring you so far. You won't even believe. I mean, it has been called life-changing. I don't know how many times. So do you want to change your life, right? Do you want to change your life? I suggest, if you are interested in joining the Eat to Live family, I highly suggest you join yearly. It's a bigger investment, but you get 2 months free if you do that, okay? 2 months free. So that's like saying, I'm going to commit for the next 12 months to this healthy eating thing. I'm going to commit to figuring this out. And you put that money up front, you put that investment up front to make it a little bit more painful for you, to create some artificial motivation, right? Some artificial thoughts there to keep you on track, okay? So that's all I'm going to say about it. Join us in the Eat to Live family right now. We are open. It is just thewateringmouth.com/family. Just join us. There's a link down below in this video. We would love to have you in there, and we are only open for another day or two. So you have to get in on it because we're going to close soon, okay? So I hope you liked this video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments about this thought shifting stuff. What usually happens to you when you're in that down period and you know, maybe you just gained a little bit of weight back or whatever and you're feeling poorly? Like, what do you usually do? If you find a way to get out of that, how do you get out of it? Or what do you usually do if you stay stuck in that place, right? Like, what's your normal pattern? Let us know down below in the comments. We'll chat about this. That's all I have for you. We'd love to see you in the Eat to Live family. Remember, that's thewateringmouth.com/family. You can go join now, and I would love to welcome you in there and get to chat with you even more. So Moo also totally wants you to join because well, she wants you to support her mommy. That's it for now. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.